Welcome to Nittany Nation Game Day.
Oh my gosh. He's not down.
Well, that didn't go as planned.
Indiana has knocked out a top 10 team.
Now Penn State is back in Happy Valley. And you'd better be ready because you know who's coming to town.
First of all, it's not a rivalry. We're not Michigan.
Rivals or not,
I'm not here to hang with Ohio State. I'm here to beat Ohio State.
Part of the reason why I came back is to get the opportunity to beat them.
Penn State and Ohio State will battle it out. It's time for the boys to get back to Beaver Stadium. Nittany Nation Game Day starts now.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Nittany Nation Game Day. I'm Peter Terpstra. I'm short, and I have a new box I can do.
Yeah.
Aerobics.
Yeah, so you're getting a little workout, and you're just, what are you, like a little monkey, just like clapping?
Okay,
like
let's move on. Come on.
I'm Jack Washer, and Big Ten football came back with a bang. It was the game and the finish that had the country talking. Penn State hanging with Indiana, and it was a wild one. The Nittany Lions had 3 turnovers in the first half. Not a great half by any means. Spying the Hoosiers 10 points off the giveaways, but Penn State had a 1-point lead with about a minute 40 to go. Indiana let Devin Ford walk into the end zone. Probably shouldn't have scored. That gave them enough time to march down the field, take it to overtime. Then in overtime, Tom Allen went for 2 in the win. You've seen it by now. Michael Penix Jr. dives for the pylon. We'll get to that just in a sec. Don't worry about it.
Now, the stats were so wonky in this game. Penn State dominated the time of possession and total yards, but they had 10 penalties for 100 yards. You pretty much never see that with the Penn State team, and 3 turnovers will hurt you, especially because Indiana would turn those into points. Now, not on this graphic. Penn State missed 3 field goals as well in the games. That brings us to this. This is a photo taken by Abby Dre of the Center Daily Times, the hometown newspaper of the Nittany Lions. Jack, in or out?
The money shot. That is a money shot. I've already told Abby 1,000 times. What a shot. When I first looked at this, I was like, no way is he in. There's no chance because I thought the ball hit out of bounds, but I see why they could not overturn it because someone was trying to explain to me on Twitter, all it has to do is break the plane. And what you can't see
the plane is the front of the line.
And it doesn't have to hit the pylon. So, like, if it had crossed the goal line on the inside of the pylon, it's technically in, but there's not a definitive angle, which makes you think, why is there not a camera angle right on the goal line?
My question is, where's the pylon cam? All right,
all right. Yeah, give me some pylon cam.
Losing like that stinks. Now, Penn State has no time to pout because Ohio State's in town this week, and if you beat them, things will open up.
I think we played well as a unit. We played well together. We never really strayed apart from each other. We stuck together that whole game. We fought the whole game. But there's just some mistakes that we made throughout the game that we need to learn from for this week.
We played hard. It's not like we look back at that game and we didn't play hard. We played hard. We played with passion. We didn't always play smart.
Penn State had won 16 of its last 18 opening games, entering the Indiana game. Now, that one loss does not erase Penn State's chance at a championship either.
The goals are still ahead of us, as a Big Ten championship and hopefully making that college football playoff. But we have a lot of work to do to get to that point.
The Big Ten championship game started back in 2011. Each year, except for one, a team with a conference loss made its way to Indianapolis. Now, Penn State dropped 10 spots in the AP poll after that loss to number 18, and they're number 17 in the coaches poll this week. Indiana moving into the top 20 with the win. Ohio State is ranked number 3, and as you know, they're here in Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions open that game as an 11-point underdog. Big picture, how important is this loss?
It is important because it put a lot of glaring holes that Penn State fans were afraid of because I don't think Indiana's that good. I think Penn State played so bad and literally handed them the game. I mean, Devin Ford, I'm not blaming it all on Devin Ford, but you got to know the time and situation. And I think that falls a lot on coaching because you need to know, all right, guys, we're up 21-20. We have no reason to score. Like, literally, if you just want to get the ball and go down 3 times, they're going to get the ball back with maybe 15 seconds left. the numbers say we're probably going to win that game. Like I said, Penn State handed them the game. They should have won that game, despite how bad they played.
I see it is what it is, right? I think it's easy to kind of overreact on this, but when, let's say if this is their only loss and it was by 1 point, after all the craziness of the offseason, it could be pretty minuscule in that respect, but only time will tell. It is what it is. All right, still ahead on Nittany Nation Game Day. What will the whiteout look like without any fans?
Plus, Penn State took another loss, this time not on the scoreboard. Talk about that next.
For 62 years, Joe Confer has served his customers with honesty and integrity. At Joe Confer Ford of Bellefonte, we have exemplified those same values and have offered the best customer service. We have an award-winning service department and a body shop that's now open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and will handle any job, including commercial accounts. Need to repair your 2015 or newer F-150? No problem. We have a certified state-of-the-art aluminum body shop. Let Joe Confer Ford be your first stop for service when you need us the most.
Oh boy, I love Belding and Mall. Look at all the great hunting gear. Those are some nice rifles. That's the biggest selection of ammo I've ever seen. Primers, powders, look at all these accessories. This hunting season, come down to Belding and Mall in Phillipsburg. You'll stock up on everything you need and you might even get to see me. All the tools you'll need for your hunting adventure. Belding and Mall is more than just a gun store. At Patterson Automotive, we're under new ownership, new management, and we have a new way of doing business. We're proud to treat our customers and employees the way they should be treated, like family. Come by to see our multiple showrooms and say hello or shop online. Whether you're looking for new and used cars or scheduled maintenance, from sales to service, at Patterson Automotive, you're our Patterson priority.
And how you can protest. Let's turn off the noise and look at the facts about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's government-run health care plan. Their plan could lead to hospitals being closed, put Medicare coverage at risk, and give benefits to illegal immigrants. Their plan is just too dangerous for seniors like us. No amount of noise will change that. Learn more at seniorsbeware.com.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
You're watching WTAJ's Nittany Nation Game Day. Only on WTAJ, your Nittany Nation station. Today's show is brought to you by Patterson Automotive. You're watching Nittany Nation Game Day.
I'm not here to hang with Ohio State. I'm here to beat Ohio State. I wouldn't have came here if I didn't have that mentality.
Just got to get him to kind of stabilize that camera. We'll work on it. A lot of players struggle with that. All right. Welcome back, Peter. Whoa, mama. You wrote that. Thank you. That's Penn State QB1, Cincinnati boy looking to get a win over his home state team.
Whoa, mama. Now Clifford and company have to take down the Buckeyes without that army at Beaver Stadium, all dressed in white.
One of college football's iconic views is gone, at least for now. Penn State will host Ohio State again Saturday night. You're used to seeing the whiteout with 100,000 crazed fans, some now replaced by cardboard, thanks to COVID-19.
I don't want to say that not having fans doesn't make a difference, but it makes a little bit of a difference, but it's you're really just so locked in on the game.
Once you're in the game, like, you really don't notice everything else around you. You know, you're just so focused on what you got to do on the field.
No sea of fans, no whiteout, no tailgating. So you're probably going to have to watch the game on TV, because the only thing that might get a live look is Mount Nittany.
There's programs all over the country that are trying to recreate what we have in Beaver Stadium for whiteouts. It's hard to do under normal conditions. So, you know, for us, you know, we're just going to embrace this is what the 2020 season is. We're excited about the opportunities and going to make the most of it.
The whiteout usually gives Penn State a home field advantage. Now the night will be darker and quieter.
That's part of the reason why I came back, is to get that opportunity to beat them. And, you know, I'm excited for this week, and I'm excited to prepare for Ohio State, and I'm excited to get that opportunity Saturday night on prime time to, you know, hopefully go out and showcase, what our team really is like and how we can play.
Reporting in State College, Peter Terpstra for Nittany Nation.
All right, you already know about Penn State running back Journey Brown, who could miss the entire season with a medical condition that was discovered in the offseason. Now Penn State is down another running back. Coach James Franklin announced this week Noah Cain is out for the year. He was set to take over for Brown. He left the game in the first half after really the first series with a lower body injury, so Penn State will go into the Ohio State game down its first 2 running backs on the depth chart.
It'll be similar to what we did on Saturday. We played all 3 of those backs on Saturday. Devin got the majority of the carries, but Kevon and Keziah played as well as true freshmen. Obviously, our circumstances have changed, and everybody's dealing with this to a degree. We came into the season with our running back room, considered maybe one of the strongest running backs in the room, and now, at least at this time, we've lost Journey Brown and Noah Cain.
So without Journey Brown and Noah Cain, you got Devin Ford returning as really your bell cow right now, plus 2 freshmen in Kevon Lee and Keziah Holmes. Now here's how it went down in Indiana. Ford got the bulk of the carries. He had 20 for 69 yards and that 1 touchdown. And 2 freshmen combined for 51 yards. Just so everyone knows who is who this Saturday, Devin Ford wears 28, Kevon Lee wears 24, and the guy looking like Saquon out there in 26, that is Keziah Holmes. Good to know that.
I was trying to do hand signals and it didn't work out. Penn State will be also without one of its starting linebackers. That'll be Jesse Luketa, who was ejected for targeting in the 4th quarter last week against the Hoosiers, which means, Peter, he will have to miss the first half in tonight's game against Ohio State. And, well, head coach James Franklin, he has some thoughts about the enforcement of targeting.
There's a lot of college football players being ejected from plays, and I get it, and I support the rule, but I also know there's just some times when the offensive player drops his pads, and I think you guys have heard me say this in the past. There's a point where if you're going to drop your pads as low as the offensive player to make the tackle and to stop them, there's a point where you can't keep your helmet up. It's just, if you guys sit there and try it in your living room, there just comes a point where you can't keep your head up once you get your pads down that low.
Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate. Sometimes just a bang play, and unfortunately now, because it happened in the second half, you got to miss the first half of probably the most important game of the season.
You saw that a lot in the return to play for the Big Ten. I know a lot of folks like to talk about the Ohio State-Nebraska game. I think it was 2 Nebraska players got ejected for targeting. Penn State is shorthanded, so you don't have Noah Cain, you don't have Journey Brown, your top 2 running backs there. Devin Ford, good player. He made a mistake last week. I'm sure he wants to get rid of that in the back of his mind. And then you got Lance Dixon, a redshirt freshman, starting at linebacker for Jesse Luketa. And keep in mind, Micah Parsons opted out as well.
Still not here. Yeah, I think the loss at linebacker is a lot more impactful than the running backs, because I think the running backs, we're finding in football that as long as you have a plethora of them, you're going to be okay. Linebacker facing one of the top offenses, one of the best quarterbacks in college football, I think that's a huge deal, and we'll probably see that play out during the course of the night.
Oh, man, they're going to have to bottle up Justin Fields.
All right, coming up next, money makes the world go round, Peter, and Penn State needs how much? That's next.
There's nothing better than fall together with the signature pumpkin spice iced latte or pumpkin iced coffee. Pumpkin is back at Dunkin'. Enjoy contactless ordering on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hey man, I'm down here at Beer Belly's Beverage. What are you thinking about tonight? How about some Dos Equis? Or hey, how about some Miller Lite? That's always good for game day. No? How about some Guinness then? Come on, man, I can't name all the beers they've got here. They've got over 500.
With over 500 options, we know it's hard to choose. But whatever you're in the mood for, Beer Bellies has the beer for it. Located in Hamilton Square Shopping Center, State College, PA.
Hi folks, Gene and Corey Stalker from Stalker Chevrolet. It's October and it's truck month. Inventories are building, trucks are arriving every single day, and the deals are hot. So come on down.
This month you can get up to $17,000 off a 2020 Bolt if you're a Costco member. And for qualified buyers, we have interest rates as low as 0.9%. Plus, if you're looking for a great lease deal on a new Silverado, come see us for details. And remember, only at Stalker Chevrolet do you get the Stalker Advantage with the purchase of any new vehicle that includes state inspections, loaner vehicles, and a whole lot more.
So come on down or start your deal at StalkerChevrolet.com.
Promises should mean something, but politician Wayne Langerhals doesn't think so. Langerhals ran promising not to take a pension as a state senator, but he took that pension on his first day in office. Wayne Langerhals lied, and we're paying. That's why we need someone we can trust. Sean Doherty is a veteran and small businessman who took on the Catholic Church over child sexual abuse. Sean will always tell the truth, and he's pro-union. Vote Sean Doherty for state senator because truth matters.
Introducing oat milk at Dunkin'. Get cozy by the cupful and creamy without the dairy with oat milk in any of our beverages. Oat milk is now at Dunkin'. Enjoy contactless ordering on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'.
You're watching WTAJ's Nittany Nation Game Day. Only on WTAJ, your Nittany Nation station. Today's show is brought to you by Patterson Automotive. You're watching Nittany Nation Game Day.
Welcome back. You never know how much damage a disaster can inflict until you see it for yourself. Penn State athletics, like many colleges, universities, everybody is facing dire financial straits because of COVID-19.
But athletic director Sandy Barber painted a harsh reality earlier this week when she sent a letter to Penn State fans saying the athletic department will face a revenue shortfall of as much as $70 million in 2020. So they are asking for any help to salvage their current financial deficits. And as Barber said during the middle of the letter, quote, without the financial support from our community, Penn State athletics as we know it is at risk. Now, it didn't really say if, programs will be eliminated, but you can maybe read between the lines.
There have been Big Ten schools that have had to cut programs. I think the letter went out to is some kind of alumni association, so I think it was kind of targeted folks that might have been donors to the sports programs already. But
we'll keep an eye on that for sure.
Point is, they need money. They're asking for donations, and it is what it is. All right, it's time to take a look at this game that you circle every single year.
Right, it seems like every time Penn State and Ohio State get together, the game lives up to the hype, including one of the defining moments in Penn State history.
This is from 45, and it's blocked. Lions scoop it up. Grant Haley will score.
Chills. A play that will live in Penn State lore. The Nittany Lions upset second-ranked Ohio State 24-21. Ohio State, though, has won the last 3 games since that fateful night in Happy Valley.
All right, so is this a rivalry game, Peter? Your traditional rivalries like Pitt or West Virginia or Temple, none of those schools are on the schedule this year, at least right now. So who fills that rivalry void? Ohio State's a pretty popular pick, I would say. Penn State and the Buckeyes have been battling for Big Ten supremacy for years now. Senior defender Antonio Shelton says no, and he would know because, well, he's from Columbus, Ohio.
And by me saying that it's not a rivalry, that's not me downplaying our opponent or disrespecting Ohio State in any sort of way, because I'm not the type of person to downplay my opponent. That's not smart. But I don't necessarily think that this is a rivalry. I think that this is 2 good football teams who are playing each other. And that's it. They have great players. We have great players. But there's great coaches on both sides. Both programs are very historic.
Shelton says Ohio State's rival is Michigan, which it very much is. And yes, like I said, that's true.
So if they're not rivals, then they might be siblings beating each other up in the backyard every year. Here's a look at the last 4 meetings between the 2 schools. All have been great games. Penn State's they last won this game, as you saw, in 2016. They lost 2 one-point squeakers in 2017 to 2018. Then last year, Sean Clifford exited the game with an injury at Ohio Stadium, and Will Levis ran the rock, and they almost got the comeback working. Now the 2 will meet once again here in Happy Valley.
We'll move on to Mark.
Coming up next, let's get spooky. We give you the best bites of the week next.
Hello, my name is Todd Rowley, and I'm running for Congress, Pennsylvania's 13th Congressional District. I'm here in Myersdale. The backdrop here is the family farm where I grew up on. I understand and recognize the hard work that our farming community faces every day. I ask you, please join me on November 3rd. Vote for positive change in our country, change that our country needs. My name is Todd Rowley, and I approve this message.
Every home has its own unique style. When you shop at Windy Hill Furniture, you'll find that we offer unique styles for every home and one-of-a-kind pieces to complement any decor. While we're known for our extensive rustic options, we are so much more. We also offer the simplicity of modern trends, along with the warmer feel of timeless traditional designs. All American-made, with quality and craftsmanship built to last for generations. Visit us today at Windy Hill Furniture.
Wall Street rigged the system in Pennsylvania. They got rich off the pensions of our seniors. As state treasurer, I fired them, saving taxpayers $700 million. Then I sued the largest banks on Wall Street for overcharging Pennsylvanians. They agreed to pay nearly $400 million. I'm Joe Torsella, and I'll keep fighting to protect your money, because some of these guys are always trying to rip us off.
Joe Torsella leads by example.
You work hard, play by the rules, but Joe Biden wants to take it all away. Joe Biden says he wants to ban fracking. That would ruin us. Not just me and our company, but this whole town. All these jobs and all these families, it makes me sick. Joe Biden would destroy this place. He just doesn't get it.
America First Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching WTAJ's Nittany Nation Game Day. This segment is proudly presented by Dunkin'. You're watching Nittany Nation Game Day.
Welcome back. Ohio State started their season off with a
corn kicking
of
Nebraska.
All right, now you read.
Now, for both teams, things ramp up in week 2. Our guy, Jared Smalley from Columbus, Ohio, tells you what the Buckeyes are thinking.
The score was 52-17. Still, Ohio State's standard of dominance was not met against Nebraska. They gave up more than 200 rushing yards to the Huskers, but Justin Fields was just about perfect. 21 of 22 passing, 3 total touchdowns, and now here comes Penn State. Maybe the 2 most talented teams in the Big Ten going head-to-head. 5 of the past 6 games between these two decided by 11 points or fewer. And while the whiteout has been a struggle for Ohio State, they have overcome it frequently. They've won 5 of their past 6 trips to State College. The only exception was that incredible 2016 game. Ohio State players say they're a little disappointed they're not going to get to face that whiteout environment. But they say even through a loss last week, it's still Penn State football.
Did they look like the team that you kind of envisioned them being?
I think they look excellent on all 3 phases. I think they look well coached. I think they have good talent, and this is gonna be a tough game. A very unique game, like you said. The score doesn't really tell the tale, and watching the film, they have good players in all 3 phases, and they're well coached. So this is going to be a difficult game, and a lot of respect for James and his coaching staff over the years, and you got to earn wins against these guys.
One significant injury concern for Ohio State is junior receiver Chris Olave, their top returning receiver. He left the Nebraska game after a hard hit in the second half. He did not return to the game. Garrett Wilson, his teammate, says Olave told him he expects to play Saturday. We'll see if that comes to fruition in State College. It's going to be a fun one.
And back by popular demand, we're not sure. Maybe, I don't know. Jack, you want to talk cash money?
Guess what I went last week? 3.
Okay, whatever.
And
that's
right,
enough.
It's time to reach into my little purse and pick you off the box. Time to get some big fat nuggets. It's time to get Jack where I picked 3 games against the spread. Michigan State, Peter, they lost to Rutgers last week. To Rutgers! And they're 24.5-point underdogs to Michigan. I'm taking the Spartans because I can.
Okay.
Iowa State is playing Kansas, and I hate Kansas. You hate Kansas.
True.
I'm going to take whatever team is playing Kansas and take that spread because Kansas is hot garbage. Finally, Texas is playing Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's pretty good, And I feel Texas isn't that great, so this line should be a lot higher. They're only getting 3.5 points. So I'm taking the Longhorns plus the points, Texas. So those are my 3 picks. And I'm Jack, and jackpots, they make me happy.
I gave you some flack last week. I didn't think that Ohio State would beat Nebraska that bad.
I mean, it was close, but
win's a win. It wasn't that close.
Well, in terms of the spread.
Spread.
We're
saying the same thing.
We only care about the spread.
Yeah, all right. It's time for our next segment. These are the best bites of the week. It is time for Sound Off.
The most sound I'm looking forward to is that the pregame whole the when we're supposed to kick off the Lion King thing or whatever.
I love Starburst, and I think I just had a bag in my book bag on the way to a game, and I had a few in the locker room before, played well, and I just kept doing it. I don't eat an entire bag. I bring a bag with me, and I just eat a couple.
New buys?
We'll move on to Mark. Go ahead, new guys. New bias, we can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Oh, no. As long as I can be heard, too. You discussed just a bit about the whiteout and a bit about the atmosphere. How do you go about maybe recreating?
Trying to mute. 2020.
Woo! Of course on Halloween week. Of course on Halloween week.
You better watch out. The ghosts are out here in 2020.
Yes, they are. Today is game day. Let's tell you everything you need to know regarding game day. Well, I never thought we would see this, Peter. Penn State looking up at Rutgers in the Big Ten standings, but that's where the standings stand at this point in the East. In the West, well, Wisconsin, they're currently 1-0, but they don't play this week.
They're not playing this week. Wisconsin, Nebraska.
They're on the Coco list.
Wisconsin had 6 players, 6 coaches test positive for COVID-19. The Big Ten protocols, that game against Nebraska is canceled. Will not be made up. Standings are whatever right now.
Where can people watch tonight's game?
They can watch it nationally on ABC, 7:30 p.m. night game.
Fowler, Herb Street.
The whole crew. College game days in town, but no one's really allowed to go to it because
quick prediction.
Oh gosh.
32-26.
21-19 Penn State.
32-26 Ohio State. Bye.